But the mud flow, under such immense pressure, was like an iron wall. Digga couldn't take any remedial action. After multiple attempts, it was all in vain. What was even more terrifying was the rocks spewing out of the mud. They flew like bullets in all directions. Jansen immediately ordered Digga to leave the scene. Meanwhile, the cargo ship nearby finally realized that a blowout had occurred on the platform. The control room was already in chaos. The continuously gushing mud had destroyed all the surrounding equipment. Jansen urgently ordered Old Black to cut off the pipeline, but just as he was about to take action, he was knocked down by debris flying toward him. As Jansen tried to help Old Black up, a massive mud flow hit again.
We gotta go right now!
And as Old White escaped the control room, he saw an even more terrifying sight. The sprayed mud was mixed with large amounts of crude oil. These flammable and explosive gases flowed through the platform's intake valves and entered the internal combustion engine via the pipes. This caused the engine speed to suddenly increase, and the entire platform began to shift. However, the platform was still connected to the drill pipe going straight down to the seabed. If it shifted too much, the pipe would bend and crack. The pressure released would only be greater. At this moment, Mike, who was on video call with his wife, also noticed unusual sounds outside. The cockpit sensors were flashing red alerts everywhere. Susan stepped out of the engine room and looked. She froze in shock. She rushed back into the room to dial for help, but was stopped by the captain.
Mayday, this is Deepwater Horizon. We are no...
What the hell are you doing? Did I ask you to call it Mayday? You don't know the difference between a kick and a goddamn blow.
Why is the monitor outside?
Realizing the seriousness of the situation, the captain rushed out to inspect, but the situation had already completely spiraled out of control. It was only then that the captain began dialing frantically for help. The Coast Guard received the distress call and immediately saw the explosion footage via satellite. The captain quickly coordinated nearby rescue units to act, but the drilling platform was located offshore. Even a rescue helicopter would take 35 minutes to get there, let alone the firefighting boat. By this time, the drilling platform had turned into a sea of flames. The nearby cargo ship took out its limited rescue supplies and rushed towards the dangerously unstable platform. Jimmy, who had been injured by the explosion, regained consciousness. At the time, he had been taking a shower. His body was bruised and battered from the explosion. He struggled to get dressed and walked out of his room. He just happened to run into Mike, who was looking for survivors. Although Mike had been knocked away by a door earlier, fortunately, he wasn't seriously injured. Jimmy asked him to take him to the control room. With the highest authority, Jimmy had to cut off the link to the platform's drill pipe to prevent the disaster from worsening further. On the way, they ran into other trapped workers and immediately began rescuing them, regardless of the danger. But the continuous explosions caused the entire platform to lose power. The engines stopped working. At this moment, Susan thought of the only solution: to cut the oil drilling pipe. But once again, the captain stopped her.
We don't have the authority.
I'm gonna seal the well.
Do not touch that button!
You need to hit the EDS.
We don't have the authority.